Hey real estate nerds, this is Alex Yoder with Pro Tip Tuesday, my favorite day of the week. And today I want to talk about vacant checks, specifically the top 3 things to do when you are doing a vacant check on one of your properties when the weather is like this. Top 3 things to do in Colorado when you're doing a vacant check. Now, with our company, we do what we call quality control checks, which are a little bit more involved, but at a minimum, you want to be checking these 3 things when you are looking at one of your vacant properties, which I would advise that you do roughly once a week. So number 1, make checking all the spigots in the house, and you're ensuring that the hose or hoses have been disconnected. So many issues with water being trapped at the spigot, and it'll cause a flood, normally of the basement, down the road. Number 2, make sure, and this is pretty obvious, but make sure you turn the heat on, that the heat is on. You want it to set to heat, and you want it set to auto. Now, I usually will put the temperature at 60 degrees in our property. Some companies will do 50 degrees. You're trying to keep that utility bill down, but you also want to have the home semi-warm for when you're showing it. You know, people make decisions based on how they feel, and if the home doesn't feel cozy, they may not take that property. So I want to have it at a decent temperature. Doesn't need to be 70, but I'd say at least around 60, maybe 62 degrees. Now, the last thing that you want to do when you're doing a vacant check, and this is the most important thing, is to check that the main water valve has been turned off. And make sure that you are looking at the meter to make sure that there are no leaks that you're not aware of. So number 1, this is usually where a shutoff valve would be located, right by the hot water heater. You have one coming in from the street here, and you have the shutoff after the meter itself. I always will turn off, and by making it perpendicular to the pipe, I will always turn off the one closest to the street. Now, the other thing you want to check is on the meter itself. You can see that little red triangle right there. If that is spinning at all, then there is water being lost somewhere. Now, with some properties, it looks like more of a little blue flower on older homes. But if either of those things are spinning, you have a problem. Now, you might think, well, if there's a leak, I would know, but that's not always true. Sometimes you may have a running toilet or something, and you can't tell until you get a giant water bill. So make sure you're checking on that when you're looking at your vacant properties, really at any time, but certainly during the winter. Those are the 3 top things to do, and that is our Pro Tip Tuesday for today. We'll see you next week.